What's up everybody, this is Master Ian Gamer, and amidst all the new content we've gotten in this most recent Retribution update, it seems that we've missed yet another strange, undocumented change. As it turns out, this freaking wheelchair, which was the topic of many conspiracies and speculation a few months ago, recently underwent a slight relocation. That's right, the mystery that many thought was nothing more than a wild goose chase might be about to revive itself. So in this video, let's take a look at what exactly happened to this wheelchair, and then talk about what it might mean, including the possibility of a new hero. Now, as a quick reminder for those of you who might not recall the original conspiracy, this wheelchair was discovered in one of the offices on the Lijiang Tower Control Center map back during the Year of the Dog event. The reason it garnered so much speculation at the time was because nobody seemed to recall ever having seen it before, thus indicating that it was a recent map addition, and therefore likely was a hint at something to come, such as a new hero. Unfortunately, this speculation was short-lived, as the emergence of this video clip proved that the wheelchair was present at least as far back as mid-September 2017. For whatever reason, this evidence seemed to convince most of the community that the wheelchair had in fact always been there, or at least carried no real significance. Regardless, I remained skeptical, and after conducting more research than I honestly care to admit, I finally pinned down the exact date that it was added. If you want to see all my findings, I cover it entirely in this video of mine here. In short though, I concluded that while it had been around for several months before the community took any notice of it, you cannot refute the fact that it was a clearly intentional, undocumented addition by Blizzard, which was made more than a year after Overwatch released. Anything that unusual certainly requires at least a bit of suspicion in my book. Anyways, fast forwarding up to right now, as of yet, nothing has really come of this mysterious chair. However, it has recently drawn attention to itself once again by suddenly being relocated from the original office it was in to the one on the other side of the map. Once again, Blizzard has clearly made an intentional undocumented change regarding Lijiang Tower Control Center and this specific map object. So now, what the heck does this mean? Well, I think it has to be one of two things. The first and more preferable option is that Blizzard did this as a way of getting our attention, specifically with regards to the wheelchair and Lijiang Tower. Naturally, the first thing people consider when they see something like this is the possibility of a new hero, and given that the chair has now been moved into what we assume is Harold Winston's office, based off of the picture being shown here, some suspect that the new hero could be him. For those of you who don't know, Harold Winston was the scientist father figure of Gorilla Winston on the Horizon lunar colony, who, at least presumably, died in the Ape Uprising which took place there. However, this recent wheelchair activity seemingly indicates that Harold could be dead, but not really, much like we've already seen happen in the story to Anna Amari and Jack Morrison. I don't think this is the case here though, as from a storytelling perspective, it would undermine one of the most important aspects of Winston's backstory if Harold ended up being alive. I do, however, think this could be teasing Liao as an upcoming hero. If you haven't already heard my in-depth theory regarding this possibility, or don't even know who Liao is, then I recommend you check out this video of mine where I discuss exactly that. As a side note, I do think it's one of my best videos. With regards to my Liao theory, I originally speculated around the fact that the wheelchair was in its original blue office across the map, but having it moved now into the red office, this could support the theory even stronger. I proposed that Liao was a close friend of both Harold Winston and Gorilla Winston, which could also explain why this photograph is on the desk and why the wheelchair was moved here. It would indicate that this office actually belongs to Liao, and not Harold. Although it then raises the question of why the wheelchair was ever in the blue office in the first place, so maybe who knows. I might have to revisit the many mysteries of Lijiang Tower if even more clues end up presenting themselves. Also, with regards to the wheelchair being relocated, I don't think it necessarily has to indicate any hero in particular, but rather could simply be something to catch our attention. It might not even be a new hero at all, but rather some other kind of new lore which will eventually be revealed. If that was Blizzard's intent, then it has absolutely worked on me at least, and I won't be taking my eye off that chair or even that map anytime soon. But assuming this change wasn't made made to get our attention about some upcoming edition, the rather disappointing alternative is just that the dev team relocated the wheelchair as a way of simply messing with us. Blizzard is by no means above doing silly things like this, and given just how much attention the wheelchair initially gained pretty much overnight back during the Year of the Dog event, it's well within the realm of reason that they might try to reignite our wild speculation around it. I'd even go so far as to suggest that it may have been their April Fool's joke for 2018, as they didn't do anything else special in-game for it this year. If this was what happened, then bravo to Blizzard for successfully letting almost 2 weeks pass before anyone took real notice of it. Regardless, for the time being, I don't think we can tell exactly whether it's just a prank or a legitimate clue. Personally, I feel that it's a bit more likely for it to be a teaser for something to come, but then again, I'm both a dreamer and an optimist. So either way, it is an intriguing little change that took place, and I'll be keeping a watchful eye on that pesky thing for a while to come. And with that, thank you all so much for watching. Let me know in the comments below whether you think it's a real clue or just some shenanigans. Share your opinion by voting in today's poll card, and otherwise be sure to leave a like, subscribe, follow me on Twitter, and turn on notifications to both help out my channel and keep up with all my future Overwatch content. This is Master Ian Gamer signing off, and until next time, have a great day.